At the beginning of the movie, two men are shown talking about building a network tower to speed up the rate of stock market sales or trading to a speed of 16 milliseconds. This man is Vincent. He is one of the workers in a company that manages the speed of the stock market trading network, while this old man named Brian is one of the directors in a company as well as an investor of the project Vincent is working on. In the company where Vincent works, a man is seen fixing something. His name is Anton, a programmer, and is also the one who will later help Vincent in completing the project he is working on. In addition, Vincent and Anton also hired a man to oversee the project, and his name is Mark. Mark sells a drilling service, and Vincent also relies on him to embed an optical fiber into the underground. The idea was that the optical fiber embedded into the ground would connect the central trading exchange server in Kansas to the trading server in New York in a straight line. So Mark will be the one tasked with drilling into the ground in a straight line from New Jersey to New York, no matter what comes in his way, including mountains, swamps, rocks, and so on. This project allows the speed of stock trading to be able to reach up to 16 milliseconds, and is supported by a program created by Anton. The next day, Anton and his team, Tasso and Jenny, get a call from their boss, Eva. There was a slight difference of opinion between Anton and Tasso. According to Tasso, using a telecommunication tower would be better than having to spend more money to build a contract with an optical fiber company, but in the end Eva decided to reconcile with them and told Tasso and Jenny to leave the room, but she asked Anton to stay. Eva senses that there is something wrong with Anton's performance that has declined lately, and is now not working like he used to. Later that evening, Vincent tries to reassure Anton, who feels depressed and scared. Vincent convinces him that the big project he is about to undertake will change his life and make a new history. The character of Anton in this movie is portrayed as someone who is very tenacious in doing his work, even so tenacious, Anton does his work in the middle of the night. Since the project is a top-secret one, Anton is forced to hide his computer in his personal drawer in order to avoid information leakage about his project. He also implants a program that is able to hack Eva's company, just in case Eva dares to interfere with his project. In the morning, Anton and Vincent submit their resignations from Eva's company. Despite some coercion and threats from Eva, who claims that Anton's brain power belongs to her, Anton is determined to make a new breakthrough with his cousin, Vincent. Vincent then embarked on his first drill, starting from the 22.3-mile stretch of Kansas City to the 11.7-mile stretch of New Jersey. Vincent tries to negotiate to Brian about the big project he is currently working on. As mentioned at the beginning of the movie, Brian is an investor in Vincent's project. Brian is hesitant at first and is a little concerned about the speed of the optical fiber that Anton says. Anton was able to project the speed of his fiber at 17 milliseconds, while according to the agreement, Vincent mentioned to Brian that his optical fiber was capable of up to 16 milliseconds, or even faster. Upon hearing this, Anton's brain boiled because he didn't think he could create a program with a speed of less than 16 milliseconds. Vincent also had two unresolved problems, one of which was that he had not yet obtained a license to drill and the other was that he had not yet found a device that could transport the tools they would use to drill. Of course, these problems are also related to money. However, financial problems are not a problem for Brian, who is an accomplished investor with a lot of experience. On the other hand, Anton, who has a high sense of responsibility, is experiencing symptoms of panic due to thinking about how he can upgrade the speed to up to 16 milliseconds. As a matter of fact, he hasn't been able to figure that out yet. Eva, who does not want Vincent's project to succeed, continues to investigate by sending a spy agent to spy on Vincent and Anton's activities. In the midst of their journey, Anton and Vincent exchange stories with Mark, who recounts his experience when he encountered a problem while drilling. After a while of chatting, Anton and Vincent finally arrive at an inn with sufficient facilities to meet Anton's needs as a programmer. On the other hand, it seems that Eva's spy has found out the location where Anton is staying, and this will cause a little problem later. While Anton, Vincent, and Mark are discussing their project, Eva finally learns about the project thanks to the information provided by her spy. Eva then panics because she sees a big potential threat for her company. Not wanting her company to compete with Vincent's optical fiber, Eva ordered her subordinates to immediately complete the microwaves project. For those of you who don't know, microwave is a line-of-sight wireless communication technology that uses high-frequency beams of radio waves to provide high-speed wireless connections that can send and receive voice, video, and data information. But the fact is, Eva currently doesn't have a qualified programmer to run the microwave project she's promoting. While his project was going smoothly, Vincent discovered that he had stomach cancer. The doctor said it was unlikely that Vincent would recover unless he received the right treatment. However, in the midst of his current project, these treatments were not possible, because it could disrupt the project. Despite his condition, Vincent eventually decided to continue his project until it was completed. But in the midst of the ongoing process, Vincent gets a little interruption from Eva. The contracted drilling service suddenly resigned from the job, as another person had hired them for a more economical and higher-paying project, and the mastermind of the incident was Eva. Not only that, she also terrorized Anton, who was working on his job as a programmer, threatening to put him in jail on charges of stealing a program code, which could lead to up to 8 years in prison. It seems that luck is on Eva's side right now, as surprisingly a young programmer who is only 23 years old applied for a job as a programmer in her company. He was able to create the program that she wanted. Meanwhile, anxiety is clearly visible on the faces of the two main characters, Anton and Vincent. Anton is anxious about his children's lives if he is really put in prison, while Vincent is worried about his cancer that is gradually getting worse, not to mention the rock drilling project also has been delayed due to a broken drill bit. The incident forced him to renegotiate his proposal, and he asked Brian for additional funds to finance his current project. Using his negotiation skills, Brian finally approved Vincent's proposal, and $15.5 million was deposited into Vincent's account right away. After his meeting with Brian, Vincent stopped by a spa to enjoy some of the fruits of his labor. Vincent was finally able to let go of some of the burden that he was now carrying. From this scene, we can learn that wealth cannot buy even 1% pleasure, but in fact, people are very confused and complain when they don't have money, and that is life in this world. One day, Vincent receives a call from Mark, and he tells him that there are some people who are disputing about the land license, but the fact is, the land license has previously been handled by a woman named Ophelia. On the other hand, Anton, who is currently in his hideout, is being watched by an FBI agent. Knowing he is being watched, Anton then rushes to complete the program he is working on. In the morning, Vincent tries to negotiate with the landowner to get permission to drill on his land, but the landowner is a quite religious person and he still insists on not allowing Vincent to plant optical fiber cables under his land, so Vincent's project must be delayed for a while. Meanwhile, Anton's program has come to light. But as he celebrates his success with glee, FBI agents arrive at his apartment to arrest him on charges of stock market fraud, despite the fact that he has done absolutely nothing of the sort, and of course this is all Eva's doing.
As I would one question, anything you say.
Meanwhile, on the other hand, the religious farmer, who was difficult to compromise with, finally got quiet after finding out that his land had been bought by Vincent. Finally, the optical fiber project could be resumed. But even so, Vincent's anxiety begins to increase when he experiences blood urine, along with Anton, who is currently in detention. Vincent's fortitude seems to be being tested, his mental and psychological state is severely stressed, and it gets worse when he learns that Eva's microwaves project has reached its peak. Eva's success in her microwave project also affected Brian, Vincent's investor. Due to high stress, Vincent, who was not in a fit state, finally fainted. When he regained consciousness, the hard-working Vincent then made a deal with an insurance company, in the hope that if his company ever collapsed, he would still have an insurance policy to cover his losses. Meanwhile, in prison, Anton pulled off one of the best hacks of all time. Despite his imprisonment, he was able to hack into Eva's company using only a phone line. Using the code he had programmed, he was able to hack into Eva's office network server, and this had a devastating effect on Eva's current network speed. As a result of the incident, Eva's employees and staff were left panicked and frustrated, and Eva was no exception. The losses she suffered were estimated to be in the millions of dollars, and could have been even worse. Eva later learned that Anton was the mastermind of the hack. She then visits him in prison. In the conversation between the two, Anton managed to make Eva scared, and finally she retracted her accusations against him, and since then, she would no longer dare to bother Anton and Vincent, and she regretted that Anton left her company. At the same time, Vincent apologizes to Brian, as his company had to almost go bankrupt due to his crazy project. In the end, the program from Vincent's project managed to reach the desired speed of 16 milliseconds or even less. But on the other hand, he had to swallow bitterness due to the collapse of Brian's company, and the insurance company did not want to pay him. Under these conditions, Anton plans to build an even crazier project. He will create a network channel through neutrons as an intermediary. The neutrons will be used as a substitute for the optical fiber, so he doesn't need to drill the ground from one city to another, and if this project is successful, the speed of the network he creates can reach up to 9 milliseconds. At the end of the movie, Vincent and Anton are shown regretting their biggest failure. Actually, this film is very exciting for those of you who understand telecommunications or at least have learned about internet networks, and will be even more interesting for those of you who are not too familiar with the world of optical fibers, radio network frequencies, or the term milliseconds to calculate network speeds using codes. This is a must-watch movie. The movie clearly shows the competition between two companies to pursue speed in data communication and data traffic, used for stock trading transactions, not just used for the internet network. One company uses microwave radio infrastructure and the other uses optical fiber infrastructure. The microwave infrastructure construction can indeed be faster and the permit is much easier, because it only needs to build a tower, while with optical fiber will certainly take a very long time, because you have to plant cables underground, not to mention the many obstacles that are passed such as river paths, swamps, and even mountains that are very difficult to penetrate. In addition, the permit is quite complicated, but the network speed with optical fiber can certainly be superior to that of microwave.